So how are you guys doing today? Good? Oh. I got to be honest with you. I 2 weeks ago, I think, I said this. But about 2 weeks ago, I said to myself, I'm only going to do this once. And I actually said that to Tim, and he's like, "You mean we got all this stuff together and you're only going to do it once?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm only doing this once." And this, I've done a lot of speaking over the years. I've instructed a lot of people over the years, and I don't think that you know this, but about 4 months ago, I was approached by Get Motivated, which is a very large venue with Bill Cosby. Oprah just spoke for them. Tim Robbins. They have Colin Powell. They did have Bill Clinton. They have Rudy Giuliani right now. They have Colin Powell. I said that. They have Condoleezza Rice. They have Laura Bush. They have on their lineup right now Lance Armstrong. So anyway, I was approached by Get Motivated about 4 months ago, and they said to me, they said, "We're really interested in having you as our real estate speaker, our 3-day real estate speaker." So, which is actually a thrilling proposal. They're the largest seminar company in the whole world. They just had an event in Hartford where they had 12,000 people at it. I was down in Nashville looking at it's so funny, the owner of Get Motivated called me up, and I'm standing there in Nashville, and they had just been in Nashville, and I'm right next to my apartment complex, and I look up, and there's a huge billboard, Get Motivated. I turned to the other side, I swear to goodness, it was 1 block away. And then I go down the street, and there's this another huge billboard, Get Motivated. And I'm actually on the phone with the owner of the company while I'm standing there, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty amazing. I'll tell you the little story about how this happened. I went to a boot camp. It was a networking event, and I was I was only an attendee, no speaking. And I was there, and there were so many people all around me. It was amazing to be at this networking event. I'm sitting next to Ron LeGrand, Robin Thompson, Wendy Patton, all as just attendees. The whole room was filled. There was 100 people, and the whole room was filled with either huge master marketers or big speakers. And I just felt privileged to even be in that room. And that's why I encourage you always to network. So anyway, so I'm there, and I had to leave early, and I had to fly to Dallas to speak on Dave Lindahl's stage at a syndication boot camp. So some of you were there, yeah. So this is what happened. I was sitting next to this gentleman at the boot camp, and they pulled him up on stage. And they said, "Hey, tell me, oh, by the way, I just got him a spot speaking at Managing the Manager for Dave Lindahl this weekend." So that's how networking works, and how you keep helping each other. So this gentleman goes up on stage, and they start interviewing him. And it turns out that he had sold $2.4 million worth of products from the stage in 90 minutes. And then a week later, he sold another $2 million. So in 1 month, and that was just 2 of his gigs, I'm sure he had a whole bunch of other gigs, he had sold $4.4 million worth of products from the stage. And he has a phenomenal product. I love what he does. He's asset management. And in fact, he was supposed to be here this weekend, but he had to fly up to Buffalo to speak for Get Motivated. So anyway, I see him. We get on the. Okay. I'm actually at the. Sorry, I'm like stuttering now. It's terrible. I'm actually on. I go to check in, and I'm on American Airlines, and I never fly American Airlines. I fly a lot, as you can imagine, so I get bumped up a lot on Delta or United or Continental. But now I'm on American Airlines. I put in my, thing to check in, and it says, would you like an upgrade? I'm like, I'm flying. I've got to go speak. It'd be nice to have an upgrade. It was like $150. So I was like, sure, all right. I'm hungry. I'm going to have to pay for bags anyway. So all this is calculating through my mind. Is it really worth it? Yes, it's worth it. I'll be in a better spirits when I have to speak. I'm a little tired. I'm flying from Vegas to... So I upgrade. So I'm getting on to... I get there, and I look over, and the guy who sold $4.4 million in 2 weeks, and I don't even know what else he did, is sitting right there, not on the plane yet. And so we're going to board, and of course, I don't know, this is stuff that I do. I make sure I'm right next to him when we're boarding. And I go, hey, I saw you down at the event. That was so great. I'm so, I love to, and we strike up a great conversation. So I get onto the plane, and because he's amazing, by the way. I give a huge round of applause to Mel. Mel is a student, period, of real estate. Anyway, he's amazing. So, all right, so I start to get on the plane, and this woman he's sitting in 4D, and I'm sitting in, or on the aisle seat, and I'm in 4D, he's in 4B, okay? So there's a woman between us. And I said, oh, do you mind if I switch seats with you? So she said, oh, no problem. So I sat there. So it was perfect because we had the aisle between us. And I know better than I'm very careful on an airline because a lot of people are like, well, I don't really want to talk to the person just because they happen to be sitting next to me. So I was very careful of our conversation, Well, we hit it off great. He was really interested in what I was doing, and I was really interested in what he was doing. So we hit it off great. By the time we were an hour in, he's like, listen, if you'd like, I'm going to be speaking in Providence for Get Motivated. Why don't you come down? So I'm like, great, I'd love to. So, oh, shoot, I forgot. Oh, yeah, okay, so sorry, I was fast forwarding the story. My brain has to wake up, okay? I have not injected enough coffee into it yet, but it will be soon. So, no, I'm good, thank you. All right, so we're talking, we're having a great conversation. By the time, so we land, and he says, listen, I'm gonna be in Dallas. I live right next to where you're speaking. Why don't I stop by? So I'm like, great, yeah, stop by, that'd be great. So he comes, I just close, and I did pretty well. And I come down, he walks in right at the close, so he didn't get to see me speak. But I walk in right at the close, Dave's up there, and I sit down with Bob, he's in the room, and Dave's up on the stage. So the boot camp is over, Dave comes down, and I go, hey, Dave, this is Bob. He goes, I know exactly who you are. I'm like, did you know he sold $1 million from the stage? He goes, right in front of Bob Bloom, he's like, he didn't sell $1 million, he sold $2.4 million. And he's like, it's great to meet you. And Dave's looking at me like, how did you get this guy to, here? It's just kind of a shocker. So anyway, they hit it off too. And so Dave comes to me and says, I'm going to go to Providence with you, so let's go to Providence together, and we'll watch Bob speak. So we did. Great day. Got to spend the day with Dave Lindahl and Bob Bloom, who's my, this guy that I met on the plane. So I'm like, Bob, here's a gift. Here's my home study course. He was so interested in what I did. I'm like, here, take this. He's like, oh, wow, Bob is an amazing guy. So sweet, so kind, so gentle, such a wonderful soul. And he's like, oh, I'll send you mine. I'm like, oh, just because I gave you my home study course, you don't have to send me yours, but I would love it. But so I literally got it in the mail maybe a week later. I'm like, this is great. So anyway, time goes on, and we were talking a little bit back and forth, and he calls me. He's like, I have watched your entire home study course. I'm trying to do your system. I'm really excited about it. I think and in my home study course, it's me speaking. So he's like, so we keep in touch. We start talking, every once in a while. He gives me a call and he says, oh, Get Motivated just got sold, and it just got picked up by a new company. I was like, oh, great, Gosh, if you ever need a speaker, I'd love to, speak sometime. I just threw that out there. He goes, be careful what you wish for. And I said, well, I think it would be great. Are you sure about that? I'm like, sure, yeah, sure. He goes, because I've watched all your DVDs, and I love the way you are on stage. I think you're perfect for this company. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. So he goes, if you want me to, I will put in your name to the people at Get Motivated. I said, great. So I get a call 2 weeks later, and he says, by the way, I just gave, and he CC'd me on the email, I just gave your contact information and everything to the owner of Get Motivated. Expect a phone call. 5 minutes after the email went out and a text, I get a call from the head of Get Motivated. We want to talk to you about speaking for us. Bob gave you an amazing recommendation, blah, 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 blah. So that is how connections can totally work out. That is how networking happens. I was listening to an NPR. Oh, so anyway, so they've now hired me, and yeah, and I am the real estate speaker, and so I leave here today, and I do another 6 days down in Hartford. I do two more events for Get Motivated, so I'll be speaking for them, and they're expecting rooms to be 200 to 1,000 people when I speak, so pretty cool. I know, I'm going to need help. I already need help. But it is an exciting opportunity for me. I've already talked to them about keeping the schedule lighter because we're going to do that. They have actually lightened up quite a bit too. So that was the other reason why I was nervous to do my schedule yet, But I have, so the whole point to that entire story was a couple things. First off, you want to make connections everywhere you go. I was listening to an NPR, bless you, I was listening to an NPR program, and they were talking about how people are flying first class to like Dubai and to different like technologically huge places in India and stuff, just so they can sit in first class on the plane and make huge deals. Like these crazy, yeah, so who knows? I'm not telling you sit in first class to try to make deals. And by the way, listen to this. The woman who I moved next to me was like, I was listening to what you're doing. It is really cool. She hands me her card. She goes, do you need a ride from the airport to where you're going? Because I have a private car coming to pick me up. I'm like, sure, that'll be great. She goes, by the way, I own 8 and started 8 of those. Have you ever seen those? Like you go in and they carve the steak right there. It's a Portugal. Do you know what it's called? Yeah, but what's the actual chain now? The Brazilian steak. There's actually like a, yeah. How do you say that? Yeah, Fogo de Chao. She started it. F-O-U, say it? F-O, yeah, okay. So yeah, it's that one. I still have her card and everything in my purse. So amazing the people that you sit next to, including at boot camps like this. And by the way, boot camps like this, what they do is they skim off the complete top. Because when you go to free events, you don't have anything like what you have when people pay. And another thing, I know the coaching is expensive, I understand that, but what that does is it skims off the top. it gives me the finest, the most amazing, and you're all finest students. You're all finest students. But what it does is it makes it so there's a commitment there and there's a commitment level there, and that's important. And also on top of it, of course, you know and I know that I only have a certain amount of time. So it goes to the coaching students. I mean, and it goes to all of you, I promise. But it's, more of it's reserved for that. And of course, you're working with Ed and Alan, whose time is worth a fortune. And I also pay a lot to have them be your coach. So it's expensive. It's an expensive program to me. So anyway, I pay them very well.